Hey guys. So lately I've been learning a lot about social interaction and how I interact with people as far as my communication skills, my social currency, things of that nature. And I could be socially awkward. I can be socially awkward. And when I first really understood what this was and noticed that I deal with it, I did feel ashamed, embarrassed, beat myself up sometimes. But then I had to really think about it. That's like you being upset at an infant for learning how to walk. That's not fair. And then I tend to compare myself a lot. I compare my chapter 27 to someone else's 47. That doesn't even make sense. So I was watching a show on Netflix. Well, not necessarily a show, but it's like a documentary about Madam C.J. Walker. And right now, I watched it before, but now I'm watching it from a different place of awareness. And right now, I am on the episode where Madam C.J. Walker meets W.E.B. Du Bois. She was talking to a couple. I forgot their name. I know the wife name was Josephine, and I forgot the husband's name. But they were at like a high-class business meeting. And when it was time for Madam C.J. Walker to meet Booker T. Washington, she herself was socially awkward. And that just reminded me, like, you're human. You're learning how to interact with people. It's okay if you're socially awkward here and there. You're learning how to communicate with people. You're putting yourself in situations to be social. Like, even, sheesh, it got dark. My bad, y'all. I hope y'all can still see me. But anyway, and you're purposely putting yourself in social settings. You say good morning to people. You speak to people. It's not like you're not trying to hone in on this skill. So I say all of that to say, do not beat yourself up when you find out your shortcomings. And I believe I said this before. You waste time when you beat yourself up, and you waste time putting more on yourself than you can bear. High expectations. It's literally a waste of time. Like, it's a waste of freaking time. You're here to learn. You're here to figure out what you're not good at. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. I know also when I'm on social media, I not fall victim to it, but it happens to me sometimes too. Again, I compare my chapter 27 to someone's 47. And it's just because I want to grow. I don't want to remain the same. And even in figuring that out, I also had to learn that when I first started this journey, it wasn't for me. Well, it was, but then it wasn't. what jump-started this whole thing was just looking around me and realizing that I didn't want to be a product of my environment. But not only that, I wanted to be better than my environment. I don't want to, again, look like, smell like, sound like my environment. I don't. There's a certain place I want to matriculate to. There's a certain place in ascension where I want to be. And that does take trial and error, and that does take a lot of reflection. When I say a lot of reflection, y'all, I feel like all I do is reflect. And sometimes I may find myself in the same loop that I tell y'all to avoid as far as beating yourself up. But that loop, I believe, comes from just the pressure to succeed, the pressure to grow. But then I can also say that comes from rushing the process when you have to trust it. And then something else I'm learning how to do is rest. Rest is a part of growth. Rest is a part of the cycle, of the life, death, life cycle. And I got life, death, life cycle from Women Who Run with the Wolves. And Miss Clarissa speaks about this. The life, death, life cycle. Everything in your life goes through that, including the world around us. The earth herself goes through her own cycles. Whether it be feedback loops, whether it be the seasons, how her ecosystems work, death has to be in that. And people hear death and they freak out for some reason. They think death is bad when it's really not. When you go to sleep, I heard this too somewhere, I think somewhere on Facebook. It's time to fly. I know that was random, but it's time to fly. But anyway, what was I saying? When you go to sleep, right? You exist in darkness. You are darkness, ultimately. Darkness is nothing but subconscious work that we tend to avoid because we're ashamed of it. All I do is introspect, but then sometimes I need a break from it, you know? I'm learning to relax. Have fun. There's more to life than just work. But I don't know. I'm that type of person. It's work. Like, it's work. It's nothing more than work. Like, I've been really working on my work ethic. My grit. Especially since someone told me that my grit needed work. That's all she had to say. That's all she had to say to kickstart this pressure to always grow. Well, besides that, it was other things, but yeah, that was one of them. And in regards to that random thought I had saying that it's time to fly, it's time for you to spread your wings and allow yourself to be. It's time to do something different. and that may look different for different people. But yeah, that's all I had to say. I gotta wash my clothes. Laundry.